Alrighty. Trying to get the autofocus to work on the camera, and the dog thinks I'm messing around. It's not playtime, man. Hey, quit teabagging me. Hey, he's always teabagging me. Like, what an asshole, eh? Sharp Customs. We are rolling. Hopefully he doesn't do. He did it again. Stop. Hey, cut it out. He thinks he's a piranha. He thinks he's a piranha in the Amazon. Hey, you know, little puppy, 7 months old. Look at his teeth. Look at this. Nice, beautiful white teeth. Better than my teeth, but he thinks he's a piranha. He thinks he's. Hey, where's your chew bone? Go get your chew bone. Go get your chew bone. Go on. Go get your bone. Hopefully he doesn't interfere with the program. What a little asshole. But anyhow, Sharp Customs, share, like, subscribe. Love to read your comments. Tonight, Wednesday night here in Southern Ontario. You know, a little bit of an update. You know, I like to show you the work and the stuff that I do. But I do that through the day, and sometimes through the day it gets, you know, it gets busy here, you know, and people come, people go. So that's why I don't video, because personally, it's not that I don't like an audience, you know. I've had audiences here, and all you people out there in YouTube land, you didn't even know it. They're in the backdrop, and they're watching me do my thing on, you know, the camera. And I just kind of ignore them. But anyhow, we're going to talk a little bit about the 49 Chevy. You know, we're going to do little bits on the 49. It's not, what am I talking about? It's not a 49, it's a 49 Ford. So we put a disc brake kit on the front, and it went okay. It went okay. Took me about probably an hour to figure out the brackets. I'm going to show you the instructions. I got them sitting right here. There's a little drawing. So this here is the drawing. Let's put some light on it. So we got this blue line here, which represents this little triangular piece. Yeah, there we go. The camera's got it. And then the black line represents the bracket that was going to hold the caliper. Now this image says, right on it, right there, it says driver's side. Okay, so you would assume that that's the way you're looking at it. Okay, so the caliper is going to go here. Well, as you can see the caliper is to the front. Okay, this is what they did. I'm going to show you what they did. So down here in the fine print it says, let me put my glasses on so I can read it, because this whole thing is like a blur to me. It says driver's side looking outboard. Outboard. So basically it's like you're inside there in the motor compartment, and you're looking outboard at this. So in a sense, this is what I gotta show you. You gotta see it. You gotta see it. As soon as the camera girl's done showing you the brackets, I'm gonna show you what their drawing means by outboard. So if I take this drawing and I'm sitting in the motor compartment, I have to take the drawing and I have to look at it that way. So basically, if I was to take the drawing and go like that, almost backwards, that's how the brackets went. And how I figured that out was in these, you know, they're bleak instructions. There was a little few things that kind of basically they told me to put the bolt in the back, of the spindle to hold the steering arm. This arm right here, which is on the back of the spindle. So they told me to put the rear bolt in and that it could stay there. And then basically they told me that the little triangular, there's a triangular bracket back here that holds the main bracket, that it goes in the front boss of the spindle. And that was kind of what led me into kind of the way it's set up. Now there were some issues. This bolt right behind the rotor, this bolt, it was actually touching the rotor. This slider pin was actually rubbing on top of the rotor, because there's a little bit of play in these brackets. And in the kit, I read further on in here, and it says put the large diameter spacer on the spindle prior to putting the rotor on. Well, the kit never came with that large spacer. So luckily I happen to have I have a big washer. They're not really washers, they're more like shims. So I put a couple back there, bump the rotor out. You know, you get a little spacer goes in the front behind this washer to make it all work. And yeah, I got it all working. You know, rotates nice. Basically it's a dry fit. I got to pull it all apart. I got to paint the calipers, got to paint the brackets, got to grease the bearings, put the seal in, and then put it all back together. And so yeah, that was kind of a fun little project that seemed to take for frickin' ever just to figure out how two stupid brackets and a couple of bushings, you know, kind of went. But I played around with that yesterday for the biggest part of the afternoon. And what do you say we move on? I don't need the flashlight anymore. Let's move on. We're going to move on to the little 34 hot rod. As you can see, quarter scale. You know it's my thing. You know it's my thing. This is just going to be a short little video. That's what I told the wife. That's what I tell her every time. I say, honey, grab the camera. I want to shoot a short little video. And she's like, yeah, right. Yeah, right. So as you can see, I have created the, I got the front. Let the camera zoom in. I've got the straight axle all drilled out, looking pretty fancy. Made some 3 leaf springs. There's one fastener under here. Now normally the ends of the leaf springs, here I'll move the shocks out. Normally the ends of the leaf springs would have the shackle system to hook them to the I-beam. I'm thinking this, as you can see, it works pretty good. I think I'm gonna just let the ends of the leaf springs just kind of float. I'm gonna make a bracket underneath the I-beam to hook these little shocks. Basically these were coilover shocks. They just look too bulky with the coils on them. So I'm just gonna use them as technically just as a shock, a dampener. And I got a bunch of stuff from Amazonia today. And one cool little thing, I got this neat little drive shaft, as you can see right here. This is the slip spline, if you remember. Say that 3 times fast. Slip spline, slip spline, slip spline. So it fits on the rear end. I'm gonna take it off so I can show you. It's got, look at it doesn't have that much movement on the ends, but it's pretty cool. It's still got movement on the ends. We can even you know what, I'm going to show you, because you know what, when I looked one of these things up on YouTube to see what the slip spline drive shaft for a lawnmower was, it was like nobody showed anything. they went, oh here, I got the new shaft for the lawnmower and I'm going to put it in the lawnmower and, you know, blah blah blah, but they didn't show, this is a neat, cool little object. Look at it. They didn't even do this. Oh, look at that. Get your spline, you know, you get your aluminum piece that it goes into. Check that out. I can adjust this. I can make it shorter. You know, I could probably leave it out there if I wanted. Make it longer. You know. Now I get it. You know, most of the videos I watched, it was for a lawnmower, so it goes in one place. I get it. They weren't thinking about something like this, but you know, I find something like this on, you know, Amazon, and this opens up a whole new world of applications, man. I could use this, you know what, I could use that in a boat. I could use this in a jet boat. You know, got my motor to my jet pump. You know, it could be this long, could be this short. It's got U-joints. Like, how cool is that? I'm going to show you the U-joint because in all the videos I watched, nobody ever showed this. Nobody ever showed the end of it. It's a pretty simple setup. It's just a ball. There's a ball in there, you know, with a pin. It's got a little itty bitty C-clip on it, and it doesn't have that much movement, you know. It's not bad, you know, for RC application. I think that's freaking awesome, you know. 10 millimeter hole. Now, basically for the lawnmower, it's just like a roll pin or a split pin, whatever you want to call it. Just pushes through there, through the shaft, and the pressure of the pin just kind of holds it in place. I thought maybe they would have come with, you know, the drive shaft, but they didn't. I think what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to tap these and use set screws to fasten it to the rear end and to the motor. And now, you remember, this was a sprocket. This was a gear on the end of the motor, and as you can see, it's no longer a gear. I actually took the clutch off and I spun it in the lathe, and I took it down to 10 millimeter so that fits on there. Now I can put some set screws, some grub screws, set screws, you know, people call them all different things, and they're basically holding on there. I can grind a little flat spot on there, grind a little flat spot on the rear diff, so that my set screws kind of seat in nice. But like, man, that is, to me, this is just a cool, you know, I figure it's for a lawnmower, you know, it's for a lawnmower. I don't know if I'll leave the rubber boots on it. The rubber boots are, they're kind of, I don't know, they're kind of big and ugly. Kind of like it just like that, you know. Yeah, it's got some grease on it. But that is a cool, neat little thing. That was like, I don't know, it's like 20 bucks, you know, on Amazonia. I got some other cool little things that I got for this. Now, I'm not going to use them all. I'm just going to quickly run over to the bench. I'm going to grab them. I'll bring them back over here, and I'll spew them out all over the bench so you can see. It's like Christmas when you get packages from Amazon. You know, you're getting all this stuff, and it's like, oh man, it's like you get to rip open the packages and dump it all out. Let me grab them. I got like 16 of them. Now, they're not all for this project. I just figured I would grab some extras for, you know, the other projects and stuff that I do. But basically, so it's very hard to get these little rod ends, Heim joints, you know, whatever you want to call them. And you can get them in right-hand thread, left-hand thread. These ones were actually off of that Rayco Jackrabbit I stripped down on the other ends of the steering arms. I use them for these front, oh yeah, I use them for the front trailing arms. You didn't get to see that. I get the front trailing arms on there. Now these ones that are in here, they're a left-hand thread, and Unfortunately, I don't have a left-hand thread tap, but I'll still probably use these for the, for the steering. Why not? They're on there. I don't know if I'll use the aluminum threaded bars. Might use some steel tubing, but anyhow. So we got our little drive shaft, our little lawnmower drive shaft. So there, I got a little mixed bag of these. So I got some females. These are 5 mil, because for some reason on Amazon you cannot get standard sizes. You can't. Everything seems like everything is metric. You find the odd thing that's SEA. SEA? SAE. SAE. Yeah, you find some stuff that's SAE, but the majority of the stuff is metric. And so these are 5 mil, which is pretty dang close. Let me grab so this is your typical, this is a fine thread, but this is like a 1032. And as you can see, it's to me it fits good. Now obviously it's not going to fit the thread, but I do have a 5 mil tap, and I do have a case of 5 mil fasteners, nuts and bolts and whatnot. So yes, that's why I got these. So I can tap 5 mil. So like my rear trailing arms, I'll probably use these 5 mils, to attach the rear trailing arms. And I love this stuff. I love this stuff. Oh, so I've got 4 females, 4 males, 5 mil. And then I also got, hey, don't eat that. I know he will. I've got some 6 mils, a little bit heavier. The next step up. I got 4 males. And I got, yeah, they come with the nuts. I got 4 females. Now, really wasn't sure if I was going to need these bigger ones. I kind of do like them. When I built my truck, I did use the heavier ones. These are closer to quarter 20. These are closer to quarter 20. Quarter 20, yeah, pretty close to quarter 20. Like I say, these are like dang close to 1024 or 1032. These are pretty close to quarter 20 or whatever the fine thread conversion in the quarter 20 is. Quarter 20 being one of my favorite bolts. Use them for everything. But yeah, so each one of these, believe it or not, each one of these, I don't know if you've ever bought these. I know there's a few companies out there that sell package deals on these, like RC outfits. I'm not going to name names, but they're freaking expensive. Okay, each one of these cost me about $3.50. Over here we have our local. Probably shouldn't name names. It's not a good thing if you want sponsorship in any sort of way. But I know that I'm never going to get sponsored by anybody up here in Canada. So yeah, our local, we call it Princess Auto. It would be like your Harbor Freight or your Napa, down in the U.S. We have Princess Auto. That's what they call it, Princess Auto. Like, what a name, eh? But these things, yeah, they're about $12 over there a piece. $3.50, and I got 16 of them. Like, man, what a deal! And they're not all for this car. I've pretty much got. I only needed a couple more for this, but yeah. So you get to see a little bit of the front end work. I can't wait. Tomorrow's a very special day because I'm getting the 34 coupe molds in the mail. And you know what? That's all I'm going to say about that. I'm not going to talk about it because it's a goddamn sham. That's what I'm going to say. That's what I'm going to say. It's a sham. These companies, I'm not going to name names, that ship stuff, you know, around the world, they're a bunch of goddamn crooks. That's all I'm going to say. They're crooks, man. You know, I assume when somebody pays for shipping and they ship me something, I have to pay, you know, maybe some taxes. You know, up here in Canada we have the GST and we have the HST. I figure, oh yeah, okay, pay taxes, maybe some duties, but no, I'm not even going there, man. It pisses me off to no frickin' tomorrow. But anyhow, let's move on. You remember in the last video, maybe the last video, but I was making those dragster wheels, 5-inch dragster wheels. Let's take a walk over to the lathe because I gotta show you what happened during the process of me testing. I was basically, what I was doing, I'll tell you what I was doing. I was testing, let's just say a high-speed spin to see what the tolerance of me putting one of the centers into the rim. Come on, let's go. I'll show you. I'll show you. I'll show you. I'll show you. First I'll show you the speed. I will show you the speed that I was running this thing. It's crazy. Here we go. I'm going to fire this up. Here we go. Watch. Okay, it jumped out of gear because I wasn't holding the little key tab. But anyhow, you saw you saw how that thing spun up. Okay, I didn't realize that it was going to spin up quite that fast. So here's the rim I was working on. Now it's got some gouging on the back side, but that wasn't the worst of it. So we had her in there. I probably should have put the live center in here to hold it. You know, you don't always think, and I didn't, like I said, I didn't think it was going to spin up that fast. But anyhow, here you go. It's pretty much, it's done. It's done. It was a really pretty looking wheel. Look at that dang. That thing, yeah, it come out. It come out of the chuck. And it hit the bed. And I was actually lucky, you know what, I was actually lucky that it didn't fly across the room. It kind of stopped, you know, kind of like that. This wasn't in the way. This was out of the way. But yeah, it kind of come out and bam, like that. I actually jumped out of the way because I thought it was going to be ejected right across the room. How fast that thing spun up. I was sitting watching it going, oh, wow, you know what? Yeah, that's work. Then all of a sudden I seen it tip. As soon as I saw it tip, I got the hell out of the way. So basically, it's not a 5-inch rim anymore. I'm gonna take some off of it. You know what? It wasn't, as far as I'm concerned, I was making this for a fella down in the States for his dragster, and you know, I did have a hub. I did have a hub bolted to it with an axle shaft that was in there. I'm not even going to show anybody what I used for the axle shaft because that was kind of the failure. Kind of embarrassed about it. I'm not going to, no, I'll show you. Fuck it, I'll show you. I don't care. I don't care. I used a freaking aluminum shaft. So basically this hub was bolted to the center, and there was another piece on here that was actually attached in the chuck, and yeah, at that high speed you can see what happened. It's yeah, this has got bearings in it. So basically this was kind of freewheeling, that was picking up speed, and when they kind of collected each other, well, That's kind of what happened. You know, it's not like I had this clamped in the chuck. I don't even think I would, you know, now I'm rethinking the whole, I never use that speed. I never use that speed, you know. I don't ever, you know, that's the speed I use for just about everything. You know, that other speed, that speed's freaking crazy, man. Like, that was just, I don't know what the hell I was thinking, to tell you the truth. But, so I can basically, I can fix these up, and I can use them, I can make them 4-inch, you know. I just machine it back. Maybe even go down to maybe a 3-inch. You know, it's not a waste. As far as making the rims for the guy down in the States who asked me if I could make these, I think I'm gonna have to let him down and say that I can't, because it was not running true. And I know what these guys are all about. These guys are all about, you know, it's a dragster, man. You don't want any type of, wheel hop, wheel movement, anything like that. So, you know, my whole idea for, you know, for the stuff that I make, a little bit of wobble here and there doesn't, it's not that crucial, you know. But for those guys, you know, they want everything perfect, man. Could I attempt, you know, I got another piece of aluminum. Could I attempt, you know, I still got this one. It's a fresh piece, but yeah, you know, pushing that center in there, you know, heating up the tubing and pushing it in there, it just, I thought for sure, I even faced it. I machined in this way, and then I faced the back side of that to make sure that, you know, and this thing was spinning on there, like maybe 1 or 2 thou, you know, off. I couldn't. This lathe is very old and very used. It is not precision. Let's just say that, you know. You know, I can get it within a few thou, but I cannot get it, you know. I can't make a watch on it. Let's just say that. Ain't happening. So there you have it, man. Short little video from Sharp. I got the camera girl laughing at me. I know she's laughing at me. At least this guy is settled down. But short little video from Sharp Customs. You know, on a late Wednesday night, you know, we always shoot our videos late. Why the hell not? You know, why do we shoot them late? Well, shit, why not? We can, man. You know, we can do anything we want on YouTube, can't we? Love you all. Love all my subscribers. Peace. I'm out.